really when you're looking at increasing your length of swing and getting your shoulder planes and your hip planes correct, we really want to have a look at how this right leg draws back and how this left heel is going to lift up off the ground. In fact, you can actually hit balls with the left heel. I'll just do it now. I'll hit one, the left heel being in the air before we actually start. And it can really get some more depth of pivot. It just sets off that sort of motion where we start to learn things a little bit more effectively. Now, by drawing this right hip back, you know, taking senior golfers, we really need to get our hips, even if they sometimes overturn a little bit, we want to get this, just left, I'll do it on this angle here. You see my heel being lifted up? Now it's not much, but we're getting that right side to draw back, getting this right hip behind us, and getting this left shoulder, left knee to move down. And this is the move that we're after. We're trying to get the knees then to lead into the shot. We're trying to get the bottom half to get some lateral movement. And then we're going to try and get this extension. All right? We're trying to get this left hip, this left shoulder, trying to get this shoulder up as high as you can possibly get it. Sharing these, obviously there's a couple of thoughts here, but getting in there with some repetitions on the way back, working on your moves. You don't need something like this, right? You can just get yourself to draw it back, filming your swings, or looking at mirrors and reflections, moving the knees forwards, and then getting this up and just getting this left hip up. You're allowed to sink a little bit with your head. If you can just sometimes practice that, you can actually get it in there so you don't need any thinking about it later on. So the seniors, speed, hands, wrists, getting your hands and wrists to break more effectively. You know, as we age, we get slower, but the hand stays strong for a lot of the men out there, forearms and hands. So what we're going to do here in this video is pick up a little bit more speed in the hands and the wrists, which is, you know, we want better ball striking as well. So we're going to have a look at that. Looking at your grip and the ability to get this lead wrist to break, picking up your angles. Looking at hitting a slight draw, I mean, as seniors, we don't want to be hitting huge fades, do we, or slices, but turning this left hand in as the body slows down, you're going to get more speed out of this joint. So I'm looking at when you take your grip, you're looking down, you're seeing this 1, 2, 3, third knuckle. And from there, you'll get more play and movement out of that joint, and there's a speed accumulator. All right, that's a big one. Definitely not looking at the 2 knuckle grip. Okay, it's dropping this hand in. When you're taking your address position, I want to get you to tuck this right elbow in, and whatever rib that you're touching there, I want to feel like in this part of the swing, you're still touching it. So as that right arm gets long, we'll lose the wrist break. All right, now as we're younger golfers, you know, we can still be really wide and we have, you know, huge velocity of turns and speeds, and we can still hit it a long way, but as the body slows, we need to pick up that distance from somewhere and we can get out of these hands and wrists. So we're looking at really, you've got your classic L position there, your right angle. You can even get a little bit more and you get like an Oosthuizen here, really keeping that elbow tucked at the top. And this is going to give you the chance to get some bigger angles coming down. I want to talk to you about this position here, these angles and how we can, you know, let them go and getting ourselves in a great position at impact, because obviously it has a lot to do with pure contact. A lot of the time we're seeing, you know, most players out there lose this angle of the right wrist, and obviously when we do that, we're coming also from the outside, rather than when we can keep that angle. A lot of the time people are coming from the outside, even though the elbows, you know, pretty much in the same position. So by hanging onto this angle, you've got to be able to match that up at the last minute, and we're going to look at here, this lead wrist really extending, and we're going to be looking at getting ourselves in this classical position that we've seen by so many players through the golf ball, these 3 fingers of the left hand, and working our way back. And this is a great way, guys, to, you know, get into this impact position, handle some of these angles. Turn your left hand in, keep that right elbow tucked to your side, keep the connection, right? Keep it in there, and then we're going to have a look at how we can hang on to these angles and really get these wrists to work at the bottom so we can get that sharp lean in and around impact, but we need to get these wrists to move more effectively. Getting your hands and wrists to move more effectively as a senior golfer is unbelievable. Now guys, let's have a look here at a fantastic clip here as we look at a couple of great players and how their hands and their wrists move. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, or please subscribe or consider subscribing. Plenty of videos coming your way. Have a look at WorldClassGolf.com, the most detailed teaching platform out there. Let's have a look now. So guys, right, it's amazing, isn't it, that we think that the hands stay very stiff after impact. But with so many of these champions, we're seeing this lead wrist move really into extension, into this cupped position. And once we start to get the hands and the wrists to move more effectively, it really is quite amazing what we can do. Have a look at couples there. It's got nothing to do with flipping the golf ball, but it's got a lot to do with these hands and wrists sort of being able to be free. And have a look at the creases there on the back of that left hand. Just mimicking some of these positions, you can get it a little bit closer to freeing up, creating a little bit more power in the swing. I love looking at different angles. Have a look at Adam Scott. It's a very unusual position when you have a look at that, but that's one of the modern day type of moves. Have a look at how the hands are actually close together. Once again, starting in this position, there are a lot of the things that we show people on World Class Golf instruction. It's fascinating. You're not finding everything out there on YouTube, that's for sure. Now, obviously, when we're looking at hitting the ball solid, we need certain positions in the swing. And looking at this, a little bit extra wrist break on the way back and getting a 3-knuckle grip. I find this area just produces so much more speed and power for the senior golfer. And as I said, when we're getting into impact, we're not flipping it. So guys, right, it's got nothing to do with flipping. It's actually the opposite. It's actually what enables us to handle more angle coming down. There's 12 degrees of shaft length, PGA Tour average, 4 to 6 inches of lateral shift, PGA Tour average, and compliments of Dr. Robert Neal on World Class Golf, who's analysed 550 tour pros and 2,000 PGA pros all around the world. So looking at this V1 system, where you can draw the lines and the angles, it really is incredible, used by Tiger Woods himself. And with this system, you get a 30% discount if you remember World Class Golf instruction, guys. Let's get further on into the video. It's just that we have to let it go. We have to be able to handle an angle like this. And if you can improve it, if you see the angle in the back of my right wrist there, and then it has to be able to, you got to dump that lag, and that's what happens on the other side. It looks like the left wrist is flat, but it's not. It's a fascinating area, and turning your grip into a position, when we're looking at someone like Couples here.
World Class Golf Instruction has over 700 detailed videos for every golfer. Practice programs and evidence-based material is applied to helping you to become your own coach and play your best golf. Join us in the chat room and join the community of World Class Golf Instruction.
Look at that left hand turned in, the right hand. It's a very, very strong grip, isn't it? Staying away from weak grips. Guys, I'm teaching people from all over the world online. If you're interested in online lessons, reach out to me on World Class Golf. I can be your coach. There's WhatsApp contact. And yeah, we've got 1,200 videos on the platform. We've got a huge senior series coming out on that with fitness, with probably the most detailed senior series ever released, I would say. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with a lot of people. And when I say seniors, it's really for people 40 or 45 years and older. So guys, get stuck into your golf, film your swing with your mobile phones, and get your hands on evidence-based instruction. It's the best way forwards with your golf.